All right, Nick, let's talk about the Oklahoma Sooners. I will say it. I think Oklahoma fans may be a little bit disappointed about how the season ends. Everyone's searching to get into that elusive college football playoff hunt. But I quite frankly think that Oklahoma had a pretty good season in the second year under Brent Venables. They made a lot of jumps. I think the team is looking very stout. There's a lot of good key pieces on this roster. And I think there's building this foundation that's going to make this team very successful. And one position of note that looks great is potentially the young upcoming quarterback Jackson Arnold. And I think Oklahoma has made a move today to help cement him in his growth with this team to make him the future, probably the leader of this team, getting them down the stretch in the college football playoff, potentially get them to a national championship. Let's get into the article and talk about it on the other side. This is from over on 3 Sports, and it says former Florida Atlantic, Nebraska, and Texas quarterback Casey Thompson has committed to Oklahoma. He told On3's Hayes Fawcett Thompson was recently granted one more year of eligibility after suffering a season-ending injury this past season, meaning 2024 will be his 7th year of college football. Crazy, I know, but Thompson will walk on at Oklahoma, according to Sooner Scoop's George Stoya III, and provide a strong veteran presence. This is the key part here for Jackson Arnold. Over his 6 years, Thompson has thrown for over 5,000 yards at his 3 stops. His biggest season came in 2022 at Nebraska, where he totaled 2,400 yards and 17 touchdowns before reuniting with Tom Herman at Florida Atlantic. Nick, let's go ahead and say it now. This is probably like the most senior, the most veteran quarterback in all of college football that you could get for Jackson Arnold. He's been there, he's done that, he's probably seen it all. So this is a really smart pickup for the Sooners, just showing they have a super veteran guy, can really help, keep Jackson Arnold in line, show him the ropes, bring a really high level of maturity to the quarterback room. And if, God forbid, something happens, Jackson Arnold goes down, this guy's got a ton of experience, a ton of different systems. He really seems like a great fit to come in and play and get you out of a tight spot. But Nick, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this move by Sooners. But Sooners fans, let us know in the comment section below. What do you think about this pickup? I know on paper, everything seems like a great pickup. Maybe you have a different thought. So let us know in the comment section below. What do you think about this latest pickup for the Sooners? But Nick, what do you think about this QB potentially bringing a veteran presence to the QB room with Jackson Arnold?
So one of the things we always talk about, especially in our NFL channel, which obviously it's a different constraints because there's salary caps and things like that in the NFL game, we always talk about what are you giving up to acquire a player? Obviously in the NFL, if you're trading for someone, you're giving up a player, a draft pick, or if you're spending money on their salary, what are you giving up? It's about value. Of course, right here in the college game, really the most important thing, the only thing you can give up is scholarships. That's really the only constraint that every team has to deal with across the board. And obviously, getting a veteran quarterback like this to be the grown up in the room, that grown up presence for Jackson Arnold for the price of a walk on is an incredible value, right? These are one of the things we talk about in terms of our NFL development. When you got a young quarterback, getting a grown up in the room with them to help them walk them through the day to day, how you prepare, how you execute without being a threat. Because it's one of those things, if you're a young quarterback competing for time, trying to get on the field, and you're working with a veteran quarterback, but you guys are actually competing for playing time, it's a different dynamic. That's not going to happen. This is Jackson Arnold's job. Casey Thompson is coming in just to be a mentor in an emergency backup, like you mentioned. So he will be able to work with Jackson Arnold here and help him go through the process of becoming the guy, the franchise quarterback, right? Big time college football is essentially becoming the NFL game. Being the big time quarterback for one of these massive programs like Oklahoma obviously is a huge responsibility, especially for a young kid not too far removed from high school, right? These guys are still essentially teenagers at this point. Having a guy who's been around the block for 6 years, going into a 7th year, is an incredible asset for Arnold. It's an incredible asset for this entire Sooners coaching staff because it gives a guy that can kind of speak coach and speak player a little bit. This will be perfect for Arnold's development. It will be perfect for the Sooners coaching staff, having a guy working with Arnold who isn't a coach, but essentially has the experience of a coach. In fact, he's got a lot more experience in the graduate assistants that are often right out of college. So essentially the GAs that would be working with Arnold are less experienced than his own backup quarterback. That's an incredible value. And again, it's these little sneaky good moves that Oklahoma and Venables have done over the past few years They add up over time, and I think we're going to see an Oklahoma team as they transfer to the SEC experience a lot of success because they're doing a good job constructing the program the right way.
Yeah, Nick. And just to talk about Thompson as a guy a little bit more, this guy, he was a big time athlete coming out of high school, 4-star, but he's from Oklahoma. He's coming back from Newcastle, Oklahoma, and went to Newcastle High School. 25, about to be 26 years old. This guy has definitely got a lot of experience, and he's going to feel at home being back in Oklahoma. So, this is a guy really wants to come home. I think that plays into the fact of that is why they're able to get him, like you said, basically for nothing. He's going to be a walk on the team. They're not giving up any kind of scholarship dollars for him. I think Venables was smart looking for a veteran quarterback, specifically a guy from Oklahoma, that it'll be a little bit easier for them to come back to the school with nothing offered just because it's a hometown guy coming back to maybe help his childhood hometown team do a little bit better. I think this is a great move by Venables to give Arnold a really great asset for basically no cost.
And there's one more thing I want to hit on here is that Thompson was a relatively big recruit, not as big as Arnold, but he was a 4-star guy. So this is a guy who knows what it's like to being a really big hype recruit and then going into a big time college football situation. He's got all of these different vantage points and experience and he can relay onto Arnold. So instead of Arnold flying blind and kind of figuring it out how he goes, he's going to have his buddy in the quarterback room that's going to be able to tell him, hey, man, I've been through this. This is how you handle this situation. This is how you handle the media. You have to talk differently to your teammates, to the coaches, to the media. Here's how you be a grown-up. Here's how you avoid the bad press. Here's how you keep everybody focused. Casey Thompson was, in almost a lot of ways, was sort of mini Jackson Arnold before Jackson Arnold, right? Not quite as good as Arnold, but similar dynamic. And I think that's going to be a key valuable asset for this Oklahoma Sooners team because we know this Sooners team, as good as they are at other positions, they will go as far as Jackson Arnold will take them. And adding Thompson into the fold gives Arnold a boost and by extension gives this Oklahoma Sooners football team a big boost as well.